What else screams adulting like parenthood? I'll wait. Adopting a dog? Name them all, guys. Parenting is a different beast on its own, okay? We decided to do an open one because you were dying on me on the table. So I opened you up. Whoa, you have a very, very big fibroid, and that is not good for your health, and it also has a potential of preventing you from falling pregnant. Initially I didn't know what it was, but uterine fibroids. Hi guys, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you're coming through for the very first time, a warm welcome to you. If you are a returning viewer or a subscriber, thank you for the love. Thank you for passing by again. In this series that we're bringing through, it's actually piggybacking from something we started last year, which was our journey to parenthood, but we wanted to take it where we're at 1 year from then. I recently celebrated my first Mother's Day, and my husband will be celebrating his first Father's Day, and we decided to just bring a spotlight to parenting. This is just a platform for us to navigate adulting together, to navigate our 20s, 30s, and grow old together. And what else screams adulting like parenthood? I'll wait. Adopting a dog? Contributing for the first time in a family event? Buying a house? Getting married? Name them all, guys. Parenting is a different beast on its own, okay? But we are enjoying every second of it, and we just wanted to join in the conversation around parenting, honestly, and contribute to it. We are going to be doing a lot of exciting things, just reviewing things that I would have done better in packing my hospital bag, parenting, sharing nuggets and for you to also contribute on your journey, right? We'll also be reviewing a few things. And I think the crux of also this channel is to normalize normal, for us to also dig deep into what value we put into the products that we spend in, and then just review that, right? Yeah, so I hope you enjoy the series that we're going to be bringing to you around parenthood. And for those that celebrated their Mother's Day a few weeks ago, happy belated Mother's Day, and we will celebrate Father's Day together as we do this series. In today's one, or the opening of all of this, I just wanted to put a spotlight into the genesis of it, right? And before you think of parenthood, before there is an actual baby and all of these products that we're going to be looking into, there are things that some people may battle with before they become parents. And I just wanted to bring a little bit of awareness to one of the things that I could have easily struggled with without knowing. So I'm just bringing a little bit of awareness to one of the challenges of fertility. To some, it does not even really prevent fertility, but I just wanted to put a little bit of a spotlight to it. I did hint on it on my previous or my last journey to parenthood journey video. Please do check it out. It has the least views. Oh, I'm trying to do a vlog kind of thing, but I think it's not a hit. But yeah, do look at that. And yeah, let's get into today's video. I know formally what I'm going to be talking about is celebrated, or the awareness is in July, and that is looking at uterine fibroids. So what it is, I just want to read from AI overview. It's basically a non-cancerous tumor, or non-cancerous tumors for some, that grow on the wall of the uterus, which is your womb basically, right? And I had those, but I didn't know. So how did I find out that I had fibroids? It was actually by chance. Before my husband and I got married, I decided to go visit a gynae. That was mainly to help me with family planning. At that time, I was working, I was furthering my studies, and I knew that I, my husband was fine with having kids anytime. I knew that we were not in a space where I thought would be ideal for us to have kids then. Not that kids are very expensive, but I believe they're an increasing cost. But we'll look into that in a different video. So I also don't know a lot about family planning. I wasn't sexually active, so I wanted the gynae to help me navigate it with not just internet knowledge or what I had from a friend or what I had from family. I wanted professional knowledge. Unfortunately, the person that I went to see didn't help much in that, but she helped discover something else, which was this. So I looked randomly on the internet, looked for a gynae. I was looking for the best gynaes. I had never had a gynae in Gauteng, so I tried looking for the best gynaes, but when I called, I think I called 3 of them, the ones with good ratings, the ones that were recommended, they were giving me dates 6 months, 5 months from now, especially because I wasn't pregnant. So do look out for that. If you're looking for a gynae, call in advance. And then I found this one. She had 2 stars, but I'm like, you know what, I'm looking for a quick thing. What's the worst that can happen? So I booked her. She said that I can go see her the next day. So I went to her. I'm like, I want to get married, and I'm thinking, I just wanted to just do a general woman check, vitality check if everything is okay down there, and also assist me with family planning, which I do recommend for people getting married. I recommend 2 things. This gynae check that I did is important, and another thing, going to check for any STD kind of related diseases, both of you as a couple. Why is it important? Especially if one is was sexually active before. I know we all praise Jesus, thank the Lord, but there are things that I've heard so many stories of people who got each other at church, but still they didn't disclose a history that they had, and then there was transmission of sexual transmitted diseases. And I think another thing that helps, some marriage counselors actually recommend it, so that it's not an oh my god, you don't trust me from your partner spirit. I think marriage counselors as well should really recommend it, so that it comes from them. But if you really love each other, I think this conversation should not spook you guys out, and it should just be something that reinforces your trust, honestly. And because there are a lot of other critical things that come in marriage, so if you can't have that conversation, you should actually be really worried. Anyways, before I digress, I went there to check, and then when she was checking, she's like, oh my god, you have a very, very big fibroid, and that is not good for your health, and it also has a potential of preventing you from falling pregnant. Initially I didn't know what it was, but she's like, no, it's treatable. We can set up an appointment, and then next week we can have it removed. And then I thought about her reviews. One of the things, like, she left me butchered. She left, she doesn't care, she doesn't have a heart. I'm like, my sister, you are not coming anywhere next to my uterus. But I didn't tell her that. I was like, no, I'll look into it, I'll call you back. I gave it a lot of thought. I discussed it with my husband, who is still boyfriend and girlfriend then. We're not even fiancés. So I discussed it with him, and then we were like, okay, we'll treat it in time, or when we're ready to have kids. It's not an emergency, because it looked like it was going to be a major surgery. So that's when I found out that I had a major fibroid that could potentially prevent me from getting pregnant. Or what the second doctor said was that even if I did fall pregnant, what would happen is that the cyst, or like that cancerous okay, I'm doing this because she ended up showing me the size of what came out of me. It was the size of like a large-ish grapefruit. Just like they will end up fighting for space with the fetus, where it can lead to miscarriages. That was something I definitely didn't want, and I really sympathize with any person who has lost a baby through miscarriage. At that point, I was like, okay, is it bad? Is it something that will affect our sexual relations with my future husband? The answers were no, but it has a potential of disturbing or preventing pregnancy, infertility in short. So I was a bit chilled with that. And then another thing I asked, is it treatable? She was like, definitely. And that's where I said she was planning the surgeries. So I was like, no, it's fine. In my brain, I didn't tell her that I was not coming back. I was like, no, we'll deal with this when the time comes. So I ended up treating them way earlier than I thought I would. Before marriage, I'd had this idea that besides all of those things that I was in school, blah, 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 I've always had this idea of just building a relationship with my husband before having kids, right? And in my brain, it's like, okay, we'll give it a few years, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years before we have kids, so that we have a solid relationship before we bring another person into the picture. So in my brain, I was like, yeah, when we now decide we now have kids, that's when I'm going to do the surgery. But the following year, I started having a lot of pain. So I don't know if I mentioned this. One of the symptoms of fibrosis is that you have heavy bleeding, you have deep pelvic pain during your periods, and you may also have blood clots in your periods, right? So some may not have symptoms. Like I said, it covers close to 80% of women. So can you imagine, almost all of us, 8 in 10 women that you see have fibroids. What was the problem then? Why did I decide to treat them? I started having deep, painful periods. Like, I've had painful periods, like take a Panadol, ibuprofen, whatever painkiller I can get, and then get through the day. But now it was deep. So, okay, initially I didn't associate it to periods only because it happened during my periods. It happened when it was outside my periods. I went to doctors, consulted GPs, wasted so much money, close to 4,000 rand, consulting different doctors. I was diagnosed with chronic constipation, where someone flushed me out, gave me something to flush me out. But it's GPs at the end of the day. There's so much they can see. I was recommended to other better GPs, but most of them came back with chronic constipation. But it was not chronic constipation. I eventually went to the hospital because the last GP I saw was like, if this doesn't help you, my dear, just go to the hospital. Maybe they'll be able to get a better view, which I feel like I should have done that before wasting so much money. But anyways, went into ER. The doctor there saw nothing strange, honestly, and then they sent me to X-ray. So the X-ray person was trying to figure out what was wrong, and then in the checks they discovered that the fibroid was now pushing against my large intestine and my urethra. Okay, I didn't do biology, but that little thing that takes pee from the urine, from the kidney to the middle part, the bladder. So he was like, yeah, that's the only thing he suspects is causing this constant pain. It's not chronic constipation like they had diagnosed me. I started running so that I'm able to poop regularly. TMI. So yeah, that's when I was then recommended to the second, I think it was the third doctor that I had looked at that gave me a later date. So I was like, yes, but I wanted a different doctor. But I formed a beautiful relationship with the one that I ended up seeing. Pex, she's stronger as well. So I saw her, skipped through the line, and then she explained what it was and how the procedure was going to be like. So to treat this, there are two different types of procedures you can have. You can have a myomectomy, which is them making large-ish incisions, and then using laparoscopy. Okay, let me not get into the technical words, but using a camera and technical things that they can do from the outside to cut around it, right? And I'm like, yeah, cute incisions. Let's get it down. And option 2 is an open myomectomy, where they cut you up like it's a C-section basically, and then they do the operation through an open surgery. So I opted for option 1 because she said that she had done it a couple of times before. So no, we booked everything, and at that time it was COVID times. It was COVID times, and I'll explain why this is important. So because it's COVID times, I was married then. My husband could not even go into the hospital with me. That also means that I could not get visitors. So your recovery time is as good as having a C-section. So it's like you stay in the hospital for 2 to 3 days. If everything is well, then they discharge you. So on the day of surgery, they start off with that, make incisions. I have one here. I think I have 4 or 5 in total. But then she realized that it's actually way bigger than what she thought, and that on the table I was bleeding out. So in order to save my life, she did the open surgery. I wake up from surgery, and it was my first surgery ever, by the way. And I'm like, hi man, I'm feeling more pain than I should be here, because she said that other one, it's not that painful, yeah. And then she comes to me in that very evening. She's like, hey, you're awake, I came to see you earlier. We decided to do an open one because you were dying on me on the table, so I opened you up. Whoa, you can imagine me, I was trying to preserve my sickness, not having an open thingy, which now that I'm narrating it, I'm like, shucks, imagine having that surgery before you find your life partner. Yeah, and it's the open one, and you're trying to convince them that you've never had a baby before. Anyways, I'm just thinking about it now. I'm just like, sheesh. I wonder how my husband would have reacted. Like, yeah, sure, C-section kind of surgery, but you're saying you have no baby, ma'am. So yeah, I was a bit angry. But I'm like, okay, it was that to save my life. But that shift from, oh, it was just going to be small incisions. Now I have small incisions and a whole cut. The recovery from that was actually very dreadful. It was the first time I was in hospital as an adult. Even as a child, I don't remember having a hospital experience that I could remember. I think I had last gone to a hospital when I was 5. So can you imagine? And shame, man, my husband was so supportive, calling me. We played games together, games that we could play where he was at home and I was in the hospital. And yeah, we just really kept in touch like throughout the days. And yeah, and then I was out of there. All right. So after having the surgery, is there a risk of reoccurrence? Absolutely. And I think that's where the semi-pressure of having a baby started. So the doctor will tell you that no pressure, but there is a risk of reoccurrence. And if you're planning on having children, it is a good precaution that you start maybe like 6 months to a year after you've had the surgery. Mind you, this was way earlier than I thought I was going to have children. So now I started having panics. I'm like, oh my God, what if they reoccur? What if they reoccur? Will I be able to have kids? Will I be able to have kids? Do I have kids now? You know, the drama of you trying to decide life. But to be honest, life is decided by God, and yeah, we are just instruments. So I was like, you know what, as God wills, if the day He will open it up for us to have kids, it will be as per God's instructions. I won't pressurize myself too, and I won't deliberately delay it further. Right, so yeah, for those that have seen the other video of how we found out, you would know what I mean. My battery decided to die a few seconds from here, but I was just explaining that there were a few scares of a reoccurrence, but it all ended up with a baby. If you're still here and have a hopeful message, please drop it on the comment section, and do show this video some love by liking. Bye, see you on the next one.